Uh, so I wanted to talk briefly about the TCM Classic Film Festival, but I seem to have a cat on my lap, so I will just adjust. Oh, there we go. So this is my badge with all my stickers or my pins. See, don't eat the lamp. Okay. And I also wanted to show you my pom poms. Which you can see have the logo on it. Aren't they fantastic? So these were from the first film I saw, which was Grease, poolside at the Hollywood Roosevelt, which is amazing. But I'm not going to talk about the films that I saw that I've never seen before because I'm going to write a really nice sort of day-by-day breakdown of everything I saw, including the new films and the films that I saw that I'd seen before but on the big screen. And that's going to be very fun, and I'm going to write that this weekend, so look forward to that. But since I talk about all of the films that I watch, the new films, on video, I thought that I would do that. Mr. Rochester did not come to the film festival with me, so he has no opinions on any of these films. And I'm going to be really brief, so I'm not going to say the director on most of these. I saw 11 films that I'd never seen before, so 5 and 5 and 1. 11. So I saw Reign of Terror, which is Anthony Mann, I believe, and it's sort of a film noir, but set during the French Revolution, because why not? It was really, really great. Great performances all around. Then I saw a pre-code film starring Jeanette MacDonald called Don't Bet on Women. I like Jeanette MacDonald as an actress. I don't like her singing. She doesn't sing in this movie, so it was delightful. There goes my cat. I saw The Bank Dick, which is a W.C. Fields film. I'd never seen a W.C. Fields film before. I'm not that sure I'm going to see one again. I didn't really dig it. Sorry. The next day I saw Why Be Good, which is a pre-code silent film starring Colleen Moore, and it kicked ass. It was like chock full of just breaking down barriers, feminist ideas. It was beautiful. The last 10 minutes were so perfect. Colleen Moore is so effervescent. I love her. Then I saw Spike Lee's Malcolm X, which I had never seen before, and I'm so glad that I hadn't, because then I got to see it on the big screen at the Egyptian in 35mm with an intro by Spike Lee himself, and then he brought on some of the crew, including the casting director and the costume designer and the first AD, and it was just amazing. And I loved Denzel Washington, and I loved this film. It was so epic in scope, and the story that it was telling, that it reminded me of something like Ben-Hur, where it's just this huge, big, sweeping film, and but it's from 1992, and so I thought it fit perfectly with the festival. Then I saw The Loved One, which stars Robert Morse, and it's Tony Richardson, I think, and it's based on the Evelyn Waugh novel, which I have but have not read. But it's written, of all people, by Terry Southern and Christopher Isherwood, which is the most bizarre combo, I think. But it's a very strange black comedy, and its tagline is, "It's got something to offend everyone," and that is very true. Although I feel like it would be way more offensive in 1965 than 50 years later, where a lot of that stuff is just very tame nowadays. But I can just imagine how insane this movie must have been 50 years ago. Then at midnight, they did Nothing Lasts Forever, which was written and directed by Tom Schiller and produced by Lorne Michaels, and had all these SNL people in it, like Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd. And it starred Zach Galligan, who's the star of Gremlins, which came out in 84. And this movie was supposed to come out in 84, but they tested it. It didn't do well. It got shelved. It's never been seen. It was widely, it's had a few played at festivals and things here and there, special screenings. It's a very weird film. It's filmed like it's a lost film from the 30s, but it's also kind of set in the 80s, and it has a lot to say about materialism and art for art's sake, and consumerism, and the war, and the Cold War, and bombs and going to the moon, and it's just and yuppies. It's a really strange film. It's a really, really strange film. It's one of those ones where you can definitely see why they couldn't market it, and you can also, but it's so strange that you're how do they even greenlight this. But I'm glad. It's one of those movies where you're really glad that whoever it was that was in charge of greenlighting at that exact moment was like, whatever, this is great. Because it's such a strange, unique film. That was at midnight. It was very zany and really tired by the end. The next day, which was my last day, is Sunday, I saw 4 films. I saw Calamity Jane, which I'd never seen and I loved. And I'm not usually a huge, 50s musical person, and I'm usually really not a Doris Day person, but this movie was great. I loved everything about it, and I loved how just energetic she is in it. It was fantastic. Then I saw Desk Set, which was my last Spencer Tracy, Katharine Hepburn film that I hadn't seen. So now I believe I've seen them all. I think I've seen them all. I'll have to double check on that because now I'm thinking maybe I haven't seen State of the Union. I can't remember. I'll check my records. I do have records. I do. So I check that. But I'm not actually a big fan of their films. I like them together. I like them separately. I don't like the plots in the films that they're in. But this was in glorious Technicolor and CinemaScope, and so it was beautiful. And, I love those Technicolor CinemaScope films like The Best of Everything and How to Marry a Millionaire. And so I will always really enjoy those. Then I saw Houdini, which is also in Technicolor, but not CinemaScope. And it starred Tony Curtis and Janet Leigh, and their chemistry was insane. And while it gave some liberties to the history of it, it was really... it really pulled you in, and Houdini dies early, young, but that's how the film's gonna end. But you're just so sucker punched when it happens because you're like, maybe this time he won't die, I love Tony Curtis. He's really good, and he's shirtless a bunch in this movie, which is always fantastic. You know how I love shirtless dudes. And then the last film that I saw was The Grimm Game, which was at one point thought lost, and the only surviving print was bought by a collector in the 50s and rarely screened, and he had to make a copy of the nitrate that he had into a 16 millimeter. And so this restoration was partly from the 16 millimeter print and partly from a 16 millimeter negative that they were able to combine with and have the full 71 minutes. Stars Houdini. It was really fun watching both those films back to back because they had these magicians come. And this one woman, she's known as the First Lady of Magic, and she escaped out of a thing in 3 minutes. And I was like, how did she do that? And Rochester doesn't know how he did it. She did it either. And then I went to the party. He's trying to eat my badge. And then I went to sleep, and now I came back here, and it took me a couple days to get my voice back. Yeah, I still don't sound right, because I talk to too many people. I love the TCM Classic Film Festival. I have gone for 5 years now, and I just can't get enough. I love it so much. So if you want to know who I talked to on the red carpet, some interesting people, what I thought about these films a little more in depth, also the other films that I saw, and sort of just the general feel of this year's festival, please read my article, which will be going up sometime this weekend, and then I'll have transcripts of my interviews as well. So enjoy that. And hopefully you can go next year. If you can get a pass, it's always worth it. You won't know what the films are in advance, but I can guarantee you it will be worth it no matter what the films are. It always is. Except you have to abandon your cat for 4 days, and then he sits on you all the time. He's still mad at me. He'll get over it. So anyways, wait. Yay! I actually have 2 sets of these, so I'm going to irritate my cat with these for the next, he hates it. Oh my god. Okay, for the next whole year. Yes, TCM Classic Film Festival is amazing. #TCMFF. Always good.